So many mythical things, but no. An angel!
Oh, I got them a long time ago.
Do you have more?
Not in here, but yeah.
A holy house.
And you're an angel, like an actual one?
Of course, but I can see no Bibles anywhere in this house or even a crucifix hanging from the wall.
I don't own any.
What?
Not very religious.
Can you find one for me?
Why?
Everyone has one. Every home has a Bible.
I don't need the quote to tell me where I'm at in life or how to feel.
Everyone has a Bible.
All right, I'll find one.
Good.
Why do I need a Bible to tell me that I'm happy? I already know this. Whatever, just to get her off my back, I guess.
A little backstory on this movie. The original One Missed Call was originally made in Japan in 2003 and remade in America in 2008. Just like The Grudge or The Ring, the Japanese original is always better. But regardless, we have GRRR, a Japanese studio behind which also made these anime.
Hey, I got another movie you can rip off. Hold on. Philip.
7 days.
7 days to what? I hate it when spam callers hang up on me before I can do it to them.
A hospital is on fire as firefighters try to put it out. A little girl is pulled out as we then cut to some time later with a different woman, and she's studying outside. Her cat begins to get close to the pond and she goes to check on her, thinking she may have fallen in when we heard maybe the cat swapped the water, but when she sees the cat is fine, she's pulled into the pond.
Bad movie, worst movie, bad movie.
A red ball is left behind as we cut to a house party. Brian and Beth, who for some reason both now decide to cook while at the party, like salad, and it's just for them. Who are these people? Brian just got into a bad breakup and is wanting to get back into the game and try and forget, but Leanne comes over. She comes back from the funeral of the girl from the beginning. The phone rings and Leanne says it's not her ringtone. It is indeed her phone, and the call is coming from the same girl who drowned. The voicemail is of Leanne, and at the end, she screams. Meanwhile, we see Detective Jack Andrews working on a case about some hikers. Sadly, his sister was one of the hikers and had been presumed dead for over a week.
Damn. Actually, I don't know what I'd do if I was a detective and examined my own family member. That's pretty fucked up.
He finds a red ball in her mouth. While at college, Leanne begins seeing things. A woman who suddenly catches fire, then just leaves. Centipedes going into Beth's hand and feeling like someone is following her. She hasn't been getting some good sleep either, so maybe it's paranoia. She calls Beth after leaving the library and begins seeing weird people. She tries to apologize for not going over to the place when Beth invited her, and Beth goes to find her. Leanne is hit by a train, and Beth sees someone catch fire.
Okay, movie, if you're gonna try and make the person become more mentally trained, seeing gross stuff, how about be consistent? Why is Beth seeing stuff when she hasn't gotten the call?
And oddly enough, when the train passes, Leanne's body begins typing in the phone number, sending the next person to die.
Is there a system to this? Because again, there isn't a system to it. A friend of a friend of a friend until it gets to one person who has no friends or family. Then what?
They find a red ball in her mouth.
That's what she said.
They have a funeral for Leanne, and of course people are talking about her phone call. Not the time, guys, but whatever, I guess. Brian calls them out, telling them to stop, but no, he's the crazy one.
Brian! Brian!
What's his problem?
He had a thing for Leanne.
The fact that you kept talking badly about the girl he knew when he told you to shut up about it, and the fact that you act like he's crazy for wanting to not talk about it when her parents are right in the front room behind us.
Brian's the next one to go, walking out as one of the girls literally won't shut up about the call after he tells her to stop. He goes and gets coffee as Beth finds him. He shows her that he got a call as well. Sadly, poor Brian is going to die today. On Leanne's funeral. Brian doesn't believe in this mumbo-jumbo, even though he's seen centipedes into cracks of buildings with ease and people with deformed faces. He's impaled by a metal rod as the construction site just blows up.
What the hell were you guys doing, playing with TNT?
There is a red ball that comes out of his mouth. Detective Jack believes Beth's story since his sister had, they call it hard candy, but it sounds like a marble when it hits the floor. I'll keep saying until otherwise. Detective Jack hands her his card and asks her to call if anything else happens. When Beth gets home, she gets a very religious letter from her mom. Like, she never opens it because she rips it up, but it has crazy religious writing everywhere. She hears something in her house and finds that one girl that wouldn't shut up about the calls, Taylor, believes she's next.
Good.
Beth takes her batteries out, and the logic is that no power, no call. Boy, does that not hold up. Beth wakes up and finds a familiar ringtone. Taylor is next. Instead of a voicemail, it sends her a video. I mean, maybe because she had no batteries, so it couldn't have been saved. I don't know. It's been a few years since I had a slide-up phone, so could I even get videos on my slide-up phones? I took pictures, but whatever. But Taylor has 2 days before her end. Taylor and Beth try to get rid of the phone, but can't. And they just end up breaking the phone.
You saw the video. You're still going to die.
A guy in a suit wants to make a show out of Taylor's story because some students told them about her story. The fuck? Beth drags her inside because this shit's for the birds. The guy's phone rings, showing the video once again as the two go inside.
Hey, did I mention religion yet?
Yeah, there are many signs of God or Jesus here. Lovely. The letters from Beth's mom. The Jesus on the cross at Beth's house and on Taylor's bag. I thought I was done with this religious shit at See Me Dance. But honestly, does Jesus or religion come later on? Or does like the last person to live beg for God to save her? No.
God is not saving you here. Why are you forcing religion in a movie about phones sending people messages that they're gonna die? God dang it.
Detective Jack goes through the things found on his sister and gets a call. We cut to Beth as she sees a note left by Taylor saying she's going to go see her mom and dad. Detective Jack comes by and tells her that the call did happen. She asks how he knows, and it's revealed the calls were on the phone's records.
You mean the one thing the police officer should have done and been fired for because that's the first thing people check when they talk about someone calling them that they're going to die, and they do?
The person who called Detective Jack was a woman from the hospital named Mary. Beth goes along because people were dying close to her. They knock on the woman's door, but a neighbor says no one has been home in 2 weeks. They break in anyway.
Couldn't Detective Jack had someone open the home because it's a police investigation? Oh, but we need a warrant. Make one up.
When they break inside, they find that everything has been left, including religious figures behind, but no Mary. Beth finds a ripped-up photo, what is assumed is Mary and her children, as Detective Jack finds a DVD of a nanny cam that was in the children's rooms. There's no camera, so they go searching, and Beth gets spooked when she hears an inhaler go off. She walks out as Detective Jack follows, and she tells him she heard that same noise before Brian and Leanne died. They go back to the office, finding it isn't Maria, but Ellie, the daughter. She died of an asthma attack, and CPS questioned Maria at the hospital. Detective Jack was taken to when they found her. They have Taylor's episode made in the church.
Why is religion in this? No, really, God or Jesus or whatever better come down and fight her with laser eyes, otherwise this is pointless.
So yeah, Taylor lied to Beth, and we cut back to the two who find that Maria had written down what happened to Ellie. She had admitted when she had an asthma attack. Her and her sister's name also appear, as it seems to be a pattern. These children keep getting hurt and keep getting into things, and in just 1 month, Ellie got burnt 9 times. So either these kids are both mentally unwell, or they just have a death wish. Because they're not talking babies. They're like 10. So basically, the mother kept hurting her children for attention. Muncie by proxy. Detective Jack believes that his sister started questioning Maria and killed her. Oh, and the best to come is that both Beth and Detective Jack see Taylor on TV. Fun. The two race down to the church as Taylor continues the show. A priest tries to get the demon out of the phone.
Don't ever say that to me again.
Things start going haywire as Beth and Detective Jack arrive to witness the madness as well. Taylor is killed and a marble left behind. So, no, God nor Jesus nor a priest can save them. But Beth's phone rings and she's going to die tomorrow. Why is hers 1 day, but when everyone else is like 2 or 3? That's just a genuine question. I actually have no clue, and it's random, apparently. Yeah, and the police station is like, no help. You mean to tell me people saw a girl die and it was because of a demon on the phone? Nothing else. Like, she died suddenly. How can a caller do that? Beth goes back to her house and Detective Jack says he's staying until whoever is doing this is caught. Beth tells us about her family and that her mother was abusive while her father committed suicide and knew that her mother was doing this. They get a phone call about the other daughter, Laurel, and she was the one that was in the hospital when it caught fire, but the mother hadn't been seen since then. She was put into foster care and had basically gone mute. Laurel presses the bear's stomach and the all-too-familiar music plays. Getting pissed off, Beth leaves and the two split up. Beth going to the hospital and Detective Jack going to downtown department, both needing to meet at the library at 7. Beth goes to the hospital and talks to the doctor. He tells her that Maria was indeed there. Detective Jack gets to the library before Beth does as she buses over in a taxi. She calls Detective Jack and believes that Maria may have died there, but that's impossible. Her body wasn't found, or her spirit is alive and is haunting the phones.
Then where the hell did she go? Also, I get Detective Jack's sister because she was the nurse, and question her about her friends. Maybe make it all so that all these people are dying because they had been nice to her kids or something, and she didn't like them seeing or being nice to her, like in any sort of way that could get her to talk. Or how about these people be connected to Laurel and that they were all potential candidates for her to be adopted? I don't know, something better than this.
Beth is dropped off at the old hospital and walks to the back. A door opens and she turns on the lights. Doesn't matter, the further the hospital she goes, it's burnt parts and there are no lights. Also, how the fuck are there lights in this place? It's been years. She ends up going to the nursery where a baby thing has a phone playing the ringtone and runs. She nearly gets caught as Detective Jack finds her. They try and escape, but the doors are locked. They run into an operating room where Detective Jack is pushed out by a woman in white and hits the wall out by the room, knocking him unconscious.
Why is it always gotta be a woman in white? White? Why do you wear white?
The phone goes off as Beth throws it. A grate opens and she crawls through. She finds a body holding a phone, which I assume is Maria's. And the phone rings. No ringtone, and instead of, I don't know, maybe hearing it out and maybe Maria will say, "Thank you for finding me. I've done wrong. I'm going to go now." No, Beth breaks it. Detective Jack wakes up and breaks into the room and the body moves. "You see what you did, Beth?" Beth tries to escape, but the body gets on top of her as she begs for her life. So it is Maria, I believe, and she says, "Forgive me." Detective Jack gets to the vent and finds Beth alive. How?
Case closed. Beth lives because she was able to find out Maria, who tried to escape the fire but died in the vents, and the reason for the killings was because of a vengeful spirit. We have 17 minutes left, so it's not this. What's the twist already?
Detective Jack takes Beth home and asks him to come inside. He says no, since he has to tell Laurel her mom died, but a date is set for tomorrow. Wink. She goes inside and finds a letter from her mom, and with Detective Jack, the caretaker agrees to tell her when she wakes up and sees a picture of what Laurel drew. Her bear, and her dead mom. He opens the bear and finds that it was the nanny cam. The nanny cam shows Ellie cut her sister, so she was abusing her and her sister for I don't know why, besides that she had some unconfirmed mental disorder. Her mom takes Laura to the hospital as Ellie is left home and locked in her room. She had an asthma attack and dies. Laura wakes up as Detective Jack tries to talk to her, and she says that in order to stay quiet about everything, her sister gave her some red candy. At the police station, the phone given to Beth goes off as Ellie is not done. Yeah, I don't know why she didn't kill her then, but now they have an hour. Detective Jack tries to contact Beth and says Maria is trying to protect her. Again, how? Beth begins following the open doors. Why does no one know how to stay put? And she almost goes into one of the rooms, but Detective Jack bangs on the door, stopping her. She opens the door and he tries to say it was Ellie, not Maria, when banging is heard coming from the front door. He looks through the peephole and a knife goes through his eye.
Mind you, throughout this whole entire movie, she can't even look in through this peephole because she saw her dad dead, like, through the peephole in the house. I don't understand that either. And, like, the one time she does, Detective Jack is there, but Detective Jack doesn't, he dies. Okay, thanks for the build-up.
All the glass in her house breaks and the front door opens as Ellie is standing there with a knife. Maria stops her, but not for everyone else. And Ellie escapes to the phone. Maria leaves as Detective Jack spits out a candy, and his phone begins calling the next person. Good. I like how Detective Jack gets to work on the case. He has a personal story that links to everyone and isn't down when someone, like his own co-workers, brush off victim stories because they sound odd. I like Beth and Jake. I like how Maria was intended to be evil mother, but in the end was only trying to protect her children, only to find her one child was being a sadistic little shit. I also like the killer was a child, and the effects on someone dying by knife through peephole is actually pretty funny to me. No kill animals. Bad movie. Bad. They don't even mention that the cat drowned. Like, maybe that one girl from the beginning died trying to save her cat. Then the police would have to question Beth and her story. Like, everyone else died mysteriously except for the one girl at the beginning because she was trying to save her cat from drowning. Ugh. Cell phones bad. Grrr. No, but what would happen to the people that don't have a cell phone? Would it be emails or mail? Never mind, they still do that by mail. Just not the normal way. Do you know what horror movies came out in 2008? The Happening. And this is now regarded as bad, but we can still laugh at it. There were so much better horror movies that came out, and this has been known as the worst to come out of 2008. Like, besides The Happening, which is now funny. Cloverfield. Day of the Dead, Home Movie, The Horribly Slow Murder with an Extremely Inefficient Weapon, The Midnight Meat Train, The Strangers, oh yeah, and the one they really liked, Saw 5. No one thinks, like Taylor breaks her phone after the one call was made. Brian would have been hit by a car if he hadn't tried to play Frogger. And even the one girl from the beginning just doesn't look around the water first before trying to get up and close to it. So, all this religious talk it's unnecessary. What happened if you killed yourself early? Do you win, or does it go on to the next person still? The nanny cam only records a certain amount of time, but it never shows it going over or just stopping. I don't know anything else about the amount of DVDs can hold, so then again, someone had to take out that DVD and give it to the little girl. How fucked up is that? Or she just never took it out. But again, it would maybe start to re-record. Or the thing has been dead or she stopped it. Even then, how? The CGI on the people and Ellie look like one of those scary videos made by Damebo. God, I'm old.
I'm not finding it anywhere. I'm happy. I'm content. I'm getting my shit back together after everything that's happened. I don't need a Bible verse to tell me how I feel. I know what I feel. What are you? The witch.